Okay, so the same thing that happened to me 2 weeks ago is happening again. Like I get to master,
Yep.
and then everything just switch, and I just lose all my games I'm playing.
Okay. So that means there's an
So
element
I'm
here of
going,
potentially plateauing. Maybe you are just
yeah,
a high D1 player.
yeah, it must be like that.
Yep.
And I'm having such a hard time actually improving at the game. Like when you give me learning
Mm-hmm.
objectives, I like understand it in coaching and stuff.
Yep.
Like I understand it in the session, but then I go off to myself
Yep.
and I do the reviews and I do the process,
Yep.
but it just doesn't stick in my brain. Like
Okay.
it's not muscle memory.
Okay. Yeah. So we can talk about that. So what sort of learning objectives have you had in the past?
So you gave me 3 weeks ago. You gave me a threat assessment,
Yep.
and I have been working on it,
Mm-hmm.
but I still die so many times in my game,
Okay.
and I'm doing everything in my power to improve at it, but
Okay.
it just doesn't stick in my head.
And why this VOD in particular?
Um, because okay, so this is a game where like have I feel like I have no control in this game. Like
Okay.
I'm slowly losing control over this game over and over again.
Okay. Let's take a look. So I'm assuming here you're just trying to allow yourself to get shoved in, get as much CS as you can to like a blasting wand, essentially.
Yeah, I reset on a Durance ring, I think.
Okay.
That's what I want to do when I start Dark Seal.
Yep. Ahri's going to bully you a little bit with those auto Ws.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like in my games, like I have no control.
What have you
Like the enemy mid laner is just outperforming me.
What have you mainly been playing champ wise?
Victor and Ekko. And
Victor and
sometimes
Ekko.
Silas.
Okay.
But mainly Ekko and Silas. Ekko and Victor.
Okay, and I'm assuming here you don't really mind taking a little bit of damage because you're going to go for a tempo reset early, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you probably could have avoided that with an E. I don't think it's worth getting hit by maybe the double part of the Q.
Yep.
Now, were you aware of where Viego started this game?
No.
Okay. Lovely. Nice little defensive W there. I like it. Getting hit by a lot of Qs here, double-sided Qs. Again, getting hit by one side is fine, but double side, not really something you want to do. Okay,
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a reset off.
get a reset. Go for your early Dorans. TP back. Beautiful. Okay, so look, a little bit sloppy, but not terrible. So what do we see here? It looks like the Pantheon got a gank off bot. They end up getting a double kill, but at the cost of his own life. Okay. So bot side it looks very volatile, right? Because you got a Nautilus into a Lux, a Nautilus into an MF Lux. Nice, nice trade. I think that one makes a lot of sense. You've got the Dorans, you've got you stat check. This Ahri actually does not have TP, so I think those heavy trades make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I actually think with your W usage, you should be less focused on landing the stun on the Ahri and more so just getting the shield. Because I think that if you could just have the shield and go for that exact trade you did before, you would come out ahead massively.
Yeah. I try to do that as much as possible. But sometimes I send sloppy Ws.
Okay, we've got to be careful. Their bot lane is missing here. The Lux could easily come bot here. Come mid, sorry. There it is. Nice sidestep.
And what I notice in my gameplay is I know where the enemy jungler is, and I know where he is coming from. But sometimes I just don't process that information. I still die to like a gank from the side I know he is on. And I don't know why I'm not like processing it.
Okay. You're getting hit by way too many abilities, by the way. I can tell you're not actively trying to avoid abilities. Or it's like you don't care about heavy trade. I mean, I can't tell. Even here, this is really risky. She has Ignite. I think if she charmed you, by the way, here, you're dead. I'm pretty sure you're dead there if she charms you. Because she has Ignite. So yeah, it's like you're not really focusing on staying healthy. You've got hit by way too many abilities. Alright, so we come back for another reset. Ahri ends up staying, so you've got a lot of tempo here. We know there's likely going to be some action on bot side. Top is probably not where we want to influence. It's an Ornn into an Olaf, so probably want to leave them on an island. What was your thought process here? At this stage of the game, you still kind of just farm. Not really too concerned about what's happening in sides.
Yeah, I don't think about too much inside.
Nice short
Like the
trade.
only thing I think about is like the bot side, as you said. Like I can't do anything in the Ornn top.
Yep.
You know.
Okay, so I want to take a look at this trade before. Same thing. So okay, so I think first things first. Again, look at the trade before this. Okay, so it's like I really want to break this one down and get specific. Ahri knows you want to go for this melee here. Now, the mind game is that you should know that Ahri knows you want to go for this. So what do you think the most appropriate response here? If Ahri knows you want to go for this and you want this, what do you think you should do here?
I think I should like position myself in, or like try to bait out the queue maybe.
Yep, try to bait out the queue. You don't need to. You didn't need to auto it when you needed. You know, when you did auto it. I mean, it would have been nice to do it then, but sometimes it's worth giving it because look how much damage you take for it. You take a Q and an auto W. See that?
Yeah, that's like 300 damage.
Yeah, you just get completely fucked. I mean, you end up being able to trade back, but at the end of the day, you could have gone for that trade without having to take that, 300 damage. So, those trades add up. Like, they add up a lot. And because I play Ahri, like, I'm really thinking about that. I'm really thinking about those Qs. Here as well, you've got to be extremely careful from Viego. We have no idea where Viego is. You've got no vision. I mean, you're walking on an incredibly small tightrope here. Okay, so first things first. This entire time after you blew ult, how do you know Viego is not just coming mid right now?
Yeah, that's the thing. And like I die so many times to that.
Yeah, because this is where you could easily just die.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to me. It's like you're so focused on the solo kill. It's like you're not thinking bigger picture. You're so focused on the solo kill. You don't really care about the bigger picture. That's what it looked like to me. You're so tunnel visioned on killing that Ahri that you're forgetting that you could also just play for the wave and reset right here.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. To me, this is what the thing you're missing is you're missing the valuing your life mindset. I mean, to be honest, that was already clear in the way you played the trades before this. All right, so Pantheon cleans up. We know bot side is very chaotic. Nice, very nice. Good trade. Yeah, so this is a very hard game for you. You've given Ahri kills. We haven't valued our own life. Top lane is getting shit on. And Pantheon's going to get outscaled. This is a very, very hard game for you. I feel like you have to make something happen bot this game, otherwise the game's just over. Like, I'd be panning my camera a lot this game, bot, and trying to make something happen. Especially with Pantheon R, when Pantheon R's back up. Did you feel the same, or did you feel as though this game...
Yeah, I feel like I needed to do something because we will just lose if we keep doing this.
Agreed.
That's the thing, like I didn't find any window to like impact the bot. I just didn't see anything.
Alright, so here, unfortunately, you get nailed by another E. Same thing here. You're going for last hits. Ahri's able to time it perfectly and get a full chunk. These, I want you to like view these as big as dying.
Okay.
Like, this is as big as dying. Because, again, let's get specific. The Ahri knows that you're going for the last hit here on this melee. So then you should know that Ahri's posturing up aggressively and trying to fish for a trade. You don't even need to hit that melee when you did hit the melee. You could have waited. You could have used this as an opportunity to bait out the entire full combo. Because Ahri would have set the whole combo here anyway, probably. Actually, no, she didn't. She actually just would have set the charm. But baiting the charm itself is massive. Also, what you could have done, another really interesting thing you can do, is you can actually walk up never with the intention to last hit, only with the intention to actually use your E reactively. As soon as the charm goes through, you could E, boom, go for a trade. You can use it as a trading opportunity. You're too one-dimensional. It's like, I see minion, I must get the last hit no matter what. No faking, no baiting, no using it as bait, no using it as like an opportunity to trade, nothing. Okay. Okay, he steals the rift. You're going to have a roam window soon. Ahri has to base. I think this is good hover regardless. I think that's a really good hover. It must be watered in the river. Not much you can do about that. The hover itself is fine. Surprised you don't hover bot here. How come you don't hover bot here?
You mean after this wave?
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Because my bot lane is... Yeah, I don't know.
Because Pantheon has
I don't
R.
know. Yeah, I think I will go bot after this wave. But yeah, I don't know why I don't hover.
I think here, if you actually straight ran bot after this, we know Viego's moving here. You ping on your way. Samira can maybe bait. Pantheon has R. I think this is a really good situation. Okay. You think you could have used your W a little bit earlier here to help you CS under tower as well. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm very surprised you don't flash there. You should have died.
Yeah, I'm just so lucky.
Yeah.
In my game.
Extremely lucky there. Okay. So game is very, very hard. I mean, your bot's losing 2v2. Jungle's getting outscaled. Top's getting annihilated. You're slowly losing. Game's tough. Okay. So what was your thought process here? What were you trying to get done here?
I think like I need to just try to get a shot on an MF.
Yeah,
Like
agreed.
try to get my Samira in the game.
I think you got to try and carry this game. You got to get that shot down, and you got to try and carry. I think. think that's the only way. Okay, well, looks like Samira ends up getting the shutdown, which is great. Very nice stun. Huge. Okay, good trade. Okay, lovely. Very close
And now
to...
the
Yeah, they're arguing. But you should have mute all in here anyway, so you don't see that shit, because it's just distracting.
yeah.
Samira dies. He's lost focus. How much gold is it from this to have your rocket belt?
1,300 gold.
Right. Okay.
So I can buy it now.
Yep. Lovely. Nice roam. Well done. Big shutdown. Okay. See what we can do with this.
Yeah, I think we just overstay here.
Yeah, a little bit of an overchase here. Hard to chase into a Lux MF like that. You end up trading 1-for-1, so it's not terrible. But we get some shutdowns.
Yeah, now I start to argue with the Pantheon now because he just typed just FF.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
And this is how you feel like your games go a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
This happens a lot.
Okay. So, we'll continue on a little bit further. So I think it's important as an Ekko to continue these sorts of games because this is your champion's identity. Your champion's identity is chill early, can't do much, and then you kind of pop off in the mid game because you kind of one-shot the AD carry. So we'll take a look.
Yeah.
All right, nice. Good. Lane assignments are going to get swapped up. I really don't like this TP here. There's no way you guys are going to be able to contest this dragon. You should be in complete vacuum mode. I don't even think you should even reset here. I think you should just stay. I think you stay and shove this one all the way out. You know they're likely going to be on the dragon. I think you stay and shove this one all the way out, man. Like you got to realize that as Ekko, you got to just be super greedy, right? Like you got to accept reality that you don't really have many win cons on the team. You are the main win con. We don't want a team fight. You want to play side, utilize Pantheon ult inside, and get to your 2 items, and then create man advantage, and then do one shot the MF later in the game.
Because I feel like I force skirmishes sometimes when I just need to be like forming.
Yeah, this entire thing is forced. Why the fuck are we playing towards Ahri? Get the bounty on the tower top side. Olaf's dead. Viego's bot side. Ahri's bot. No one else has TP on their team. Shove this out. Get that tower. Get the bounty. Give this completely. Samira covers bot side. It's fine. But then you go bot UTP, which also your TP is very important because that allows you to play shove and move really well. Pantheon then compensates for your terrible lane assignment. And then you got a fight's happening. We shouldn't even be fighting here. Well, it somehow works out, but this is not what you want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you get pretty bloody lucky here, in my opinion. I mean, they run into you guys. Okay. Okay. Well, this game is on you, man. You've got 4 kills. This game is hardcore on you. Your job is to basically assassinate that MF and make that MF slice miserable. You get the bounty. Excellent. Very good. All right, you're absolutely rock and rolling here. So what was your thought process here?
To try and kill the MF. That was like the only thing I had in mind in like
Okay.
team fights. And I don't know. It feels like when the enemy team gets the soul, like the game is over.
Hmm.
So I feel like we need to contest the soul.
I think you might have been able to collapse midway earlier here. See how the MF was positioning? I think after this wave, you should have been hovering mid here. Or at least panning your camera. Okay. Nice. Okay, beautiful little collapse. Baron. Yeah, I think that is a Baron. It's a tough one, but I think it's possible. And given the game's a little bit tricky, I think it's good. Nice. Hmm. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. For some reason, Samira doesn't go to the Baron. Oh, would that have even made a difference? Probably not. Hmm. It's a bit of a wasted flash here. Okay, I mean, not terrible. Okay, so let's break this one down. This is a very pivotal moment in the game. So let's break it down step by step. We know at this exact stage here that the game is on you. You are the carry. And you're actually quite good into a lot of their champions. I mean, you can kite a lot of them. They don't. I mean, Olaf doesn't have hard CC. Lux's hard CC is very avoidable. MF is very immobile. Lux is very immobile, and yeah, the only really key threats are, I would say, I mean, Viego Stun, Ahri Charm, and Everfrost, Lux Bind. And all we need to do is we need to be coming in from the side and getting onto that backline, which is exactly what you do here. That allows you to shove and move and collapse. Now, here in this moment, we see 3 people dead, and we view it as a moment to get a Baron. Because you are Ekko with a Nash's, you think it is an opportunity. I think a lot of Echoes would see this. I think the only thing that makes this quite difficult is that Olaf specifically is very fed. He's on 2 items, and no one can prevent him from getting into the pit. So I think that purely because it's an Olaf, and Olaf I would say is a bit of an exception to this because he can steamroll through all of you, and no one can CC him, I don't think it works. So in hindsight, knowing what we know now, probably not the best play, but I don't blame you for making that call in game. This here was a bit of a panic one. You burnt the Ariel. All you got to do was just peel back. I think wasting your flash here is quite significant. But now we're in full disengage mode. To be honest, I think the play here would have actually been better off reset and then TP. Okay. So Lux ends up getting a few shutdowns. So at this stage, you guys need to contest that dragon. Yep, you need to contest. We call it reset for dragon. Unfortunately, MF double kills them, and now the game is quite difficult. You guys are going to have to fight through an ocean drag. You can steal it, though. Ekko can steal objectives, right? You know that, right?
Yeah, but I don't think I even go for it.
That you have to go for it here.
I see he just stones me.
Okay. All right. Same thing though. They get soul. You guys got to go for picks. You got to go for picks. Shove side and pick. You do have TP here, which is going to make it a bit easier. They're probably going to go for Baron, so you got to make sure you're coming from the side if they do contest. They shouldn't be able to do Baron versus you. You need to TP to this ward over here, and you need to get in the pit. You can't give them this Baron. I think you should have contested. I think you had to contest that. No, the game's just so hard. Soul and Baron.
Yeah. Now the game is over.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a few things I want to talk about here today. The first thing, Ekko is a very unique champion. And you know this, but I just want to make it very clear. And sometimes we forget the contract that we sign when we play our specific champion. Ekko is the definition of minimize and lose basically every matchup until you get to your rocker belt. And you get to your rocker belt, you become a champion. And that's where you can make up for some lost ground. And in this time, you're generally you're trying to pick up shutdowns. You're trying to roam. You're trying to, create chaos, skirmishes, etc. And use this power spike to get you through to your second power spike, which is your Nashes, and get shit done on your 2 items. Your job a lot of the time is to assassinate any squishy. Now, the good thing about Ekko is that even if your bot lane loses, a lot of the time you can make up for the difference and capitalize that on your 2 item spike or 1.5 item spike and beat them. So the contract that you sign is you're typically going to be playing from behind most games. You're going to be playing from behind most games. Now, in saying that, what does that mean? Well, that means you've got to be a farm vacuum. It means also that your macro decisions, post 15 minutes, post rocker belt, are very, very impactful. And you got to find ways to utilize this TP. You got to find ways to utilize your strong wave clear in the side. You got to find ways to shove and move and collapse. It also means that every single death, every single miss CS in the early game, every single bad reset in the early game, these directly impact your ability to become that carry in the mid game. So there's 2 main problems here, I think, that are feeding into each other. The first one is that there are small mistakes in the lane that are delaying your spike, which is then making you feel stressed. And then the other part is that your actual macro and map decisions post rocker belt are also quite questionable as well. So these are the 2 aspects, if I were you, that we need to focus on. Now, to get more specific, the lane mistakes. You're taking way too much poke. You're not using your E reactively to avoid Qs. You weren't actively trying to bait or fake CS. And I feel like as well, there were some moments as well, your Ws were kind of average or too far away and they were never going to hit, when I think you shouldn't really been trying to land the stun, more so get the shield and then use that to take the trade. Even with your TP advantage, you still didn't really get that much value because you were getting hit by way too many abilities. This led to Ahri having better quality resets than you. Also, you dying in the 1v1 is a disaster. If you're a champion that spikes hardcore in 1 item, dying once, it's the same thing if I'm playing Cassiopeia, if I die once pre-mythic, I'm fucked. The fact that this game was even this close, considering you got solo killed by Ahri, was amazing to me. You legit got solo killed. But the reason you're getting solo killed, and the reason you're taking all this damage, is that you're not truly understanding the contract, and you're not all-inning on your champ strengths. And you're not valuing your own life. Valuing HP. Valuing your life. You don't need to get a solo kill as Ekko in this lane. You need to farm your ass off and get to your Rockabout as soon as you possibly can. If we improve your CS a little bit, we remove some of the poke, we get a better quality reset, we don't get solo killed, we don't go for that random TP bot side and continue to go top and get that early bounty. The game is very, very different. Even, right, this is the crazy thing, even with each and every single one of these mistakes, if you had simply played for the reset instead of playing for the Baron, the game would have been different again. Do you know how many options you got, or how many kind of get out of jail free cards you got given this game?
Yeah.
So I want to put it in perspective. Even with all of those mistakes that you made, you still had an opportunity to win the game because that's Ekko. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So now the problem is, okay, or now the dilemma is, okay, where do we start? And how do we improve on this stuff? I think the reason you keep making the same mistake is because I think you've got a mindset problem.
Oh.
Right? I think it's I think you don't, it's the mindset behind it. So let's take, for example, right? Let's take, for example, that TP decision bot side. Where's that TP play? You know where you go for that? Yeah, this TP play here. I want to break this one down. So you can look at this from many, many aspects. So I want to break it down. So we have I want to use my new criteria. So we have 4 stages. Stage 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Stage 1 is the micro. We'll look at that in a second. Stage 2 is the macro. Stage 3 is your champ identity and role assessment. And stage 4 is like the psychological, that's like the psychological outside of game mindset stuff, mental blocks, etc. Okay. Now, from a micro perspective, there's no point looking at this. It's a TP play, not relevant. From a macro perspective, well, it doesn't really make sense, right? It doesn't really make sense from a macro perspective because why the hell are we TPing bot side when we're trading that off and we're not contesting and you need to farm to your second item? But I think it goes deeper than that. Why are we making this macro decision? Well, so that think of stage 3 as the why of the macro. Okay? That's why I want you to think of stage 3. Why? Why are we making this macro decision? Well, it's pretty clear, isn't it? Here, we're making this TP play because we're not completely obsessed or aligned with our role as being that 2-item spiking vacuum that needs to make sacrifices to get shit done later on in the game. You're trying to compensate. You're feeling panicked to make shit happen, which is resulting in, or maybe you just played so much Ekko you got complacent. I don't know. You've lost your way with this is not Ekko's identity. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same thing when getting solo killed mid. Okay? As an Ekko, again, let's go through this process. I mean, I agree. We could have played it maybe a bit better mechanically. We could have said no, etc. But why are we not going to say no? Why are we fundamentally okay with going for this risky play? Because you feel desperate. Why do you feel desperate? Maybe because you haven't reached the rank that you've... Maybe this is a stage 4 thing. You haven't reached the rank that you feel desperate that the game's fucked anyway, or you feel like you're on a loss streak, or you should be master tier when you're not, or... I don't know. Does Ekko need to get the solo kill?
No.
No. If anything, it's a win here if you just play for the wave and reset, because you get tempo over this Ahri and it's a win-win. See where I'm coming from?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I get really desperate in my games.
so I want you to, rather than looking at it at a micro level, rather than looking at it even at a macro level, just the decision making, why are we making those decisions? Why do we feel stressed and rushed and anxious to make these plays? You're the one that scales.
Oh,
You got to all in on your champion's identity. You got to all in on the fact that this is not your strength. So then the question asks, okay, well, does that mean you don't like this style of playing? Maybe you don't want to play Ekko. Maybe you want to play a champion that has more proactivity in the early game.
I love Ekko.
Well, that's on you then. If you love Ekko, then you got to play like you're playing Ekko.
Yeah.
Slow it the fuck down. Trust yourself blindly that, okay, if the game's exploding around me, I'll adapt. And you did the right thing. You hovered in between waves. But you don't need to go for a solo kill. You need to value your farm, get good resets, and get to that goddamn rocket belt and be that farm vacuum and make up for it in the back end later on, 15 minutes onwards.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I would suggest, what I want you to play around with, because I think this is also why you've been working on your threat assessment and stuff, and you still die. This is why, because you're playing, like right now, you're going for this play, fully aware that Viego could be right here behind you. You just don't give a fuck. You're happy. You're like a gambler. You're happy to take this kill and trade 1-for-1. You're happy to go for the risky play and try to outplay and then pray that Viego's not here. This is objectively bad League of Legends because you have no fucking idea where Viego is. If it works and it works out great, yippee. If it doesn't, I just lose. This is just coin flip.
Yeah.
It's fucking coin flip.
It just doesn't stick in my brain. Like I don't know what it is.
I think it's very clear though why it doesn't stick in your brain. Because you haven't addressed the mindset. You fundamentally are okay with taking risky plays. It's not about the play specifically, it's about the mindset beneath it. So you got to shift your mindset rather than being okay to trade 1-for-1 or praying that and taking risky plays 24/7. You need to get in the habit of making high percentage plays. You need to direct your attention less on getting the solo kill, less on taking that risky play and just staying alive and getting your farm.
Yep.
So what I would recommend, straight up, is from now on, hopefully this gives you a bit of a reality check with like the importance of slowing down the game and playing off your spikes. What I would recommend though, in your reviews when you're playing off your deaths, you're looking at your deaths, and even you're looking at your key macro decisions, don't look at it just a stage 1 and a stage 2 perspective. I want you to take the time to ask yourself, okay, how was I thinking here? Why fundamentally did I feel the need to do this? And call bullshit on yourself. If I'm playing Cassio and I'm running up and going for a blind kill without vision on the enemy jungler, I'm going to roast myself. Because that's not what Cassio wants. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So even if now maybe you figure out the why, right? Maybe that doesn't change your behavior because now you know the why, but you don't know how to fix it. That's fine because at least we then know why you're doing those decisions. So then you reach out to me and we can work on that. But I need you to do some deep diving, get into your reviews and try and understand the why.
I need to understand why I do the risky plays I do.
Yes. Is it because you feel like you're on a clock and you need to get to a rank at a certain time? Is it because your friends are watching you and you want to make sick out plays? Is it because you feel you've lost 3 games in the past week and you want to fucking get your LP back? Is it because you feel as though you've got bad teammates and blah, 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 blah? I don't know. Or is it that you fundamentally don't think that you think it's good for Ekko to trade 1-for-1? I don't know. You got to address this shit and really be honest with yourself, and then only then can we identify what's going on.
I already know the reason, like, because if I don't, it's hard to articulate, but I feel like I don't deserve to win if, like, it's so hard because I feel like I have no impact in my games, and I like need to do this flashy shit, like killing the enemy. So,
Well, then why are you
mid-lane
playing
and stuff.
Ekko?
Yeah, dude.
You got to realize this is it. You got to accept the reality of your champion's identity. That's what I said at the start. Welcome to Ekko. Welcome to this is the contract. Read the fucking contract that you signed with Riot Games if you're playing Ekko. Ekko is a very unique champion. You eat dick for 15 minutes, and then you make up for it on the back end. So yes, you are going to be unimpactful for 15 minutes. But you better execute 15 minutes onwards, and you better not dig yourself a hole with the first 15 minutes, because otherwise you're just delaying your impact. Cool?
Yeah, thank you, man.
All right, you got a lot to reflect on, man. Hopefully this gets you on the right path.